Welcome to another episode of the InNOLEvation Mindset Podcast powered by the Moran College of Entrepreneurship. My name is Marina Herrera, and today we have Professor Melissa Rauer with us. Professor, how are you?
I'm doing great.
Awesome. We're excited to have you. Just tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got to FSU.
Yeah, sure. I actually am from Tallahassee, grew up here, went to school here, not for my undergrad. I went to UF for undergrad, but came back, got my master's, settled down here, had a family, and I've worked with small businesses and entrepreneurship for about 24 years now. So I came to FSU. I did my MBA from 2000 to 2006 to 2008, and then got to really know the staff at the College of Business. And in a few years after that, they had a position open within the Moran Institute, and I went after it and got it. And I ran the Moran Institute for about 7 years until we moved under the Moran College last year. And at that time, I became faculty. So now I get to work with students and small business owners and all kinds of different people throughout the entrepreneurial ecosystem.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I know you work with, like you said, we know we talked before about veterans and stuff like that. You want to tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, sure. We do two programs within the Moran Institute. One is called the Entrepreneurship Bootcamp for Veterans Families program, and that is for spouses and caregivers of veterans who are in the early stages of starting their business and want to grow and scale. And they do a couple weeks of online training and then come here for a full week of residency where they really get to grow their business and learn from experts and professors in our college and industry leaders and all kinds of different people. And then we also do an Entrepreneurship Bootcamp for Veterans Accelerate program, which is for established veteran business owners who have a few employees and have been in business for a few years. And they're really looking to grow and scale their business and get to the next level. That is the same format. They come for 5 days of training and really get to know each other and really get to know their business enough so that they can grow it and get to the next level.
That's so awesome. I'm in the Army, and I think it's such a cool idea to have like that opportunity for people who may have like a different background but still want to get to that point and have a business.
Yeah, it's so great. It's one of the most rewarding things I get to do. And we've found that veterans are really good business owners. They have a lot of discipline. They do have creativity. They're willing to persevere and they thrive under challenge. So they have a lot of great qualities that make them good business owners and entrepreneurs.
Yeah, no, I imagine. I guess I never really thought about it, but I guess, yeah, like those qualities that, you had in the military can transfer over to a business and they probably work perfectly fine.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. They're phenomenal business owners and leaders of companies. And then they tend to employ more veterans. So it's just, it's a wonderful thing that entrepreneurship has done for the veteran community.
Yeah. Do you have like, one, I guess, like a top memory that you remember that you want to share with us?
From our veterans programs, we have so many people that go through our programs. We actually, Sherman Williams just did a podcast, I think a week ago, with Dr. McNeese talking about his product, Body Aqua. But we've got a lot of great success stories. We've had some people come through that they didn't know each other before they got into the program. And one was like a contractor and the other was in construction and the other was in landscaping, and they combined to go after a government contract and got like a $40 million contract through the government. So we've had some really cool stories and just unique different partnerships between people and ways that they grew their business and impacted their communities. Like I said, it's a wonderful program and I'm so excited to be a part of it.
Yeah, no, that's amazing. I remember when you told me about it in the first, like the very beginning of the semester, and I remember thinking it was super, super cool. Just because I know my own people that I work with and how they wanted to start businesses, but I know that when I've talked to them, it's, yeah, I have an idea and like where to go, but like, I don't know how to specifically execute that kind of stuff.
And it is daunting. A lot of times, especially veterans, don't really know where to start. We partner with the Institute for Veteran and Military Families at Syracuse University, and they have an amazing National Veteran Resource Center where veterans can go either online or in person and receive a lot of assistance and ideas for training and certification and all kinds of different resources. So they're our clearinghouse, and we work with them very closely to fill our classes and to do our programs a couple times a year.
That's amazing. That's super awesome. How do you you're a professor at FSU right now. I know that I'm in your business planning design class. Do you have any other classes that you're teaching?
Yes. So I teach go-to-market strategies, which is basically sales. And I'm teaching that for the retail entrepreneurship major this semester. Next semester, it'll be commercial entrepreneurship. I also teach intro to entrepreneurship. I've taught it both online and in person. And then in the spring, I'll be teaching the entrepreneurship and innovation learning community here on campus, where the students actually are part of an LLC. They live in the dorm, they come downstairs and they take class with me. We'll be discussing contemporary issues in entrepreneurship and getting their feet wet in the entrepreneurial space and seeing if that's something that they would be interested in pursuing as a profession.
That's so awesome. How do you see, like, when you first get those students that are in the intro to entrepreneurship, what do you see that they're more interested in?
All different things. There are some that came from an entrepreneurial family that maybe their parents owned a business and they want to go into that business, or they have a specific industry. Maybe they've always worked in restaurants and they want to open their own restaurant or retail. We see a lot of that where people want to open their own, at least online store, if not physical store. There's a lot of people that want to go into real estate, just all kinds of different industries, but they're all very excited about the idea of working for themselves and creating that community impact and being able to hire people down the road and really start something that builds on that creates a legacy.
Yeah, that's so awesome. I know I see it in my class when we have, like, all of the picture ideas, and honestly, so many cool ideas show up out of there. I know that when people pitch it, and I'm like, I would totally use that.
Yeah. I know, and I love that too. I love, I just had final sales presentations for my go-to-market strategies class, and some of the products that they came up with were just amazing. And they're just in the early infancy of the idea, but just seeing the light bulbs come on and people so excited about getting a product to market, it's really fun. It's really rewarding, and I'm just so impressed by the quality of students that we have in the Jim Moran College.
Yeah, I guess I never thought about that too, but I guess in different, like, in different subjects, it's not such a new thing every semester, but I guess a JMC, like, professor, it changes every semester. You have
Yeah, absolutely.
different, like, students, different ideas, and I'm sure it keeps it, like, I guess it keeps you on your toes in a way.
Yeah, and I think that's why I've worked in entrepreneurship specifically now for 9 years, and it's never the same day twice. It's always something new and innovative and exciting, and I think that's what kind of keeps me so excited to come to work every day is to get to see and meet with students like yourself that have these cool ideas and they're doing really cool things, and even if it's an Argentinian bakery, that's something that's not here in our market that you can expand upon, and I just love seeing the ideas and having them go from ideation to implementation
Mhm.
and then thriving. It's a really cool experience.
That's so awesome. Going back to what you have said, you said that you teach both online and in person. What do you see as
So, I can uh, I have a lot more impact, I think, or the number of students impacted is much greater online because I can have 200 to 300 students at a time in a class. But the downside of that is you don't get that one-on-one FaceTime that I get to have with you all in person, where I get to come in and see you guys every day and chat with you after class and really build that relationship and that connection and hopefully mentor you a little bit or help you flesh out ideas as they come to you. So it's a little bit more challenging in the online classes to build that connection. Hopefully they get their feet wet in the intro class and then they come to us they come to us in person for the next classes, because if you're an entrepreneurship major of any kind, you're going to have to take classes in person at some point. I hope that I'm doing my job as a professor by instilling an interest in them and a curiosity and a willingness to learn more about the field of entrepreneurship so that they will come to us as an entrepreneurship minor or major and really move forward in their academic pathway.
Yeah, for sure. I know that there's a bunch of different opportunities within the JMC College. Which one do you think every student should take advantage of?
Ooh, that's so tough. So there are so many great resources within the college. There's innovation exercises and pitch nights and mentor nights, and there's just so many things that are going on. So I would say get involved in student engagement, visit Morgan and May and get to know them and the college and find out what's next, what's coming up. They do things in the Innovation Hub once a month, the first Friday of every month, I want to say, or something along that schedule where you can practice pitching your idea. So that's a really great exercise and a really great way to get involved in the college and maybe see if that's something that you're interested in moving forward. You can join a pitch team. There's competitions. There's the Innovation Challenge every
Mhm.
year. We just did Turkey Tank. I was a judge in that pitch competition where we actually compete against UF to see who has the most innovative idea and the best business model to create that idea. And so there's just a lot of really great stuff going on. A lot of wonderful, talented faculty that are teaching really interesting subjects and like podcasting. Who would have thought that would be a class? But from what I understand, it's very heavily sought after, and we have a ton of students that want to take it. And it's really interesting and something that can benefit everyone later on down the road.
No, for sure. Like you were saying, I know a lot of those that you were mentioning, but I guess it's still, even though I've been like in the program for 2 years, there's still a bunch I don't know. You want to tell us more about that turkey tank? I didn't know about that one.
Yes, they pick, I think there's 5 teams. There were 5 teams from both schools. And the 5 teams from both the 10 teams total came together and they competed. They did like I guess, a 3-minute pitch to open about their business idea. And they had to flesh out who their target customer is and their value proposition and all the things that we teach in entrepreneurship. And and then we did a first round where we eliminated 4 of the teams and then brought back the second round was the final competitors, and then from that group, we chose a top 3 and a top 1. It was really cool, a really great experience, and the student that won it this year, although he is doing his master's at UF, he did his undergrad at FSU. So I feel like he represented both schools, so we can just share the trophy.
Yeah. No, that's so awesome. That's such a cool. I get a flex if you know. Like, yeah, I went to both, but I know we're competing against. That's so
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
If you were, I guess, when you were saying all those different opportunities, one of the things that came to mind was if you were a student at FSU at the JMC College, what were some opportunities that you would have taken advantage of?
Ooh, I probably would have done a lot with pitching. I like to talk to people, and I like to try to convince people to see things my way or to buy my product or buy my service. So I probably would have done that. I probably would have taken the podcasting class. I think
There
that's
you go.
so fascinating and interesting. So yeah, I would have been really involved in student engagement, the internship class, really putting myself out there, trying to find what field I was really interested in going into. Because something we say as faculty often is you want to fail fast and
Hmm.
fail early, right? So you want to get that idea out there and see if it tests well in the market and if you're actually able to execute and do something with it. And if not, it's fine. Move on. We're moving on to the next thing. We're trying a new idea. We're switching things around. We're tweaking. I think that's a really cool way of framing things. And I like that we instill that in our students that it is okay to fail. It's okay to not succeed in your first business. Most successful business owners will tell you they failed numerous times before they got to where they are today. So it's cool to live in that environment where it's okay to make mistakes. We all do. It's just human to do it. But learn from those mistakes. That's all we ask. Learn from those mistakes and move forward and do something even better and bigger.
Yeah. That I can totally relate to that because I know that with my business, like when I was starting off, like I remember I was at John Breed's class and I was bringing in in Mandariness and seeing how it was working out. But I know at first it was not the first recipe at all. It was not what I wanted to sell. It was not what I wanted to put in the market. But I brought it out. I remember they tried it. They're like, yeah, we like it, blah, blah, blah. And so it worked out pretty good. And then I was just like, you know what? Let's try it. Like, let's see how it goes. And if it's a total fail, it's fine. Like, I'll give the Mandariness back to my family and we'll just have like, a blast and then I'll move on to the next idea.
Yeah, so it took you a couple recipes to find the right
Mm-hmm.
one. And if you hadn't failed the first time, you might not know that there are better ways to do it
Right.
and more efficient ways to do it too. I know that's something that you experienced. It was taking you a day to make a batch. So now it narrowed down significantly.
Mm-hmm. No, for sure. This is part of me not knowing so much, but did you ever have a business? Did you ever want to start one? Like, where do you
Yeah.
stand on that?
Yeah, I did have a business. My husband is a videographer by trade. He actually works here at FSU, and he had a wedding videography and event videography business that I helped him run for a few years, for 3 or 4 years. I was the the operations manager slash marketing specialist slash bookkeeper. Like I kept everything in line and did all the business end stuff because I had that MBA from FSU that was,
Nice.
so valuable. And he got to be creative and go out and do the videography and edit and do the things that he was really good at doing. So, but that kind of led to my passion for small business ownership and for working with other small business owners because I saw the struggles that we had, and we didn't have payroll, we didn't have some of the challenges that I see working with small business owners and entrepreneurs that they have. And ours was just a small, minuscule part of that process, but it whet my appetite, I think, for learning more and helping entrepreneurs and small business owners throughout Florida and beyond. So I'm glad that I had that one experience to guide me on my path forward.
That's so awesome. I know that a lot of the times I'll get like super frustrated. Like, oh, what am I supposed to do? And what am I supposed to head like career wise? And I think a lot of the times I talk to my parents and it's follow what you like and then eventually the rest will come.
Right.
And I feel like that's exactly what you're talking about. How it's I just did what I like at this first time and then that led to something else and something else and it just kept going by itself in a way.
Yeah, absolutely. And the majority of our students will not necessarily go out and create a business on day
Mhm.
one. We know that, and that's okay. But we're hoping that we're giving them the foundational skills to go forward and identify gaps in the market, identify inefficiencies in their jobs that they could do better, or just things that their employers are missing. Well, we hope that they'll do some customer discovery. We hope that they'll be entrepreneurial in their whatever position they hold. And that one day that will convert to, okay, you know what? I've been at this for 5 years and I think I'm ready to go out on my own. I'm going to take all the skills I learned as an entrepreneurship major and I'm going to create my own business. And maybe they dust off their notes and they go back and they build a business model through Live Plan or whatever it is, or they uh, go back to their go-to-market strategies and figure out a sales presentation to do. I hope that they're able to take those skills and move forward and do something really cool and own their own business.
Yeah. No, for sure. I know I'm definitely taking some with me. What do you think was like the biggest skill set or lesson that you took from when you were running that business?
That's a good question. Customer service is everything. I think that's the biggest thing. You want to make sure your customer is always happy. Communication is essential. So just making sure that we had projects that could take 6 to 8 weeks long to edit and to get to full package. So we set that expectation early on that it was going to take a while for the deliverable to come through. But I would still check in every couple weeks and just let them know, hey, we're still working on this. Our estimated time of delivery is this day. So they knew where we were and that we hadn't just forgotten about them because a lot of times they've paid already. So they're just expecting that final step. So yeah, I think communication is probably the biggest thing, making sure that people know what to expect and that you deliver upon those expectations. And I've said this, even leading a team, I've said you want to under promise and over deliver. You never want to over promise and under deliver.
Mhm.
So you really want to If you think it's going to take you 3 days to get something done, tell people that it'll take you 5 days. And that's fine. Nobody's going to fault you for that. But if you can get it done ahead of time, then they have much more goodwill than if you say that it'll take you 3 and it takes you 5 days.
Right. No, that totally makes sense. I'm gonna apply that actually in my own business now that I know that.
Yeah.
So just to wrap things up, anything else you'd like to share with us? Any stories? Anything you want to share?
Yes. I had an interesting experience this semester. I had all 3 of my in-person classes do some form of pitch or presentation as their final deliverable. And afterwards, I had them reflect on that and tell me like what they learned from the experience. And I realized that a lot of people are not comfortable with public speaking. I guess I knew that somewhere deep down. But I think they all enjoyed it because it pushed them outside of their comfort zone. And now they feel ready and more prepared to go out and pitch to an investor or to a partner or just to do one of those Friday pitch events. I'm glad I did it. And my message to them was, okay, get used to this because if you're an entrepreneurship major, you're going to have to be pitching. Many professors expect that, but also it really does get you ready for being out in the world and having impromptu meetings, or you may actually be on an elevator with somebody and have to pitch yourself as a potential employee or a partner or whatever it is. So be prepared, be ready to know what your personal value proposition is and how you can basically recite that and state that so that people will want to hire you or people will want to do business with you. So I think that's really key and something that I hope my students got a lot of benefit out of.
Thank you so much for sharing all of that with us. I love getting to know more about you. And thank you for joining in for another episode of the InNOLEvation Mindset Podcast. Make sure to subscribe and let us know what you liked about it. We'll see you on the next one.